Just about all of the major bike manufacturers started off by making road machines, although they've all branched out now into the world of off-road. They've all been very successful. Honda have their XR and CR range, and Kawasaki, of course, the KXs. But here's a manufacturer who seems to be doing things the other way around. CCM are famous for their off-road machines. Indeed, the name CCM stands for Clue's competition machine, but now they're making road bikes. They already have a Supermoto in their 604 Sport, but very soon this new model will be coming out of the Blackburn factory, the 640 RS. Now, this might not be everybody's idea of a pure road bike, but they insist that it is just that. Certainly it leans towards the off-road Supermoto style, although there's less ground clearance with this, and the suspension really is more suited to tarmac rather than dirt. But CCM insist it is, and they would like us to call it a roadster. So, roadster, street bike or whatever, does it actually matter what you call it? I don't think so. What really does matter is how well it works. And the quick answer is very well. 640 cc's of single-cylinder Rotax motor, which has got plenty of torque and low-down power, exactly the kind you need for cutting through busy traffic in a city. It'll take you to a top speed of just over 100 miles an hour. Nothing special there, you might say, but that's not the idea. This bike is about usability and practicality, and it's got just the right kind of power delivery for this style of machine. So the RS stands for Roadster Special. Now, people who are familiar with CCM won't be surprised to find the usual high-quality products being used on this new bike. For example, Brembo calipers down there, Brembo brakes, superb, and a big 320mm disc up front, excellent stopping power, superb brakes. The suspension is white power on this, fully adjustable white power monoshock at the back, nothing wrong with that. And at the front on this, the forks are white power. In the past, in fact, still CCM do use Paoli forks on some of their other machines, but on this one, for some reason, they decided to go for white power at the back and at the front. Now, this is a pre-production model that I have here. This isn't exactly as you will find it in the showrooms in a few weeks' time. There are one or two subtle differences, in fact, improvements, I dare say. The indicators, for example, switchgear will be different. This switchgear is horrible. I have to say it's horrible. Turn left indicator there. You've got to actually push it back to the middle and cancel it manually instead of the normal press in. On the production bikes that you'll see in the showrooms, they'll have the more conventional indicators where you just flick it left and then give it a little press to cancel it. Much, much easier to operate, and really that's what we're familiar with, so that's what it should have. The choke on this one is down here. There it is, there, just near the top yoke there, which is alright, it works okay, but we would rather have it here. Well, on the production bikes, it will be there. It'll be on a slider, which is what we all expect, so that's fair enough. One thing I have to say about this, it really does bug me, is the lack of a neutral indicator. This is supposed to be a road bike. They keep saying it's a road bike, so why on earth can it not have a neutral indicator? All we've got is indicator lamp there and main beam lamp there. We've got 3 spaces here. Why not put an indicator lamp, a neutral indicator in there? Also, when you turn the ignition on, I'll turn the ignition on. You won't know it's on. I don't know it's on because there's no one and there's no ignition light, there's nothing. So what's going on? I mean, after all, we're in the 21st century now, and we put a man on the moon. We've done it. We've had men on the moon, but we still can't have a neutral light on a CCM. I do have it on good authority, though, that ignition lights and a neutral indicator are on their way sometime in the future. But we don't buy bikes to look at their pretty lights. We buy them to ride. And cutting through the busy traffic is where the new 640 RS really does excel. It's a superb commuter bike, especially if your daily route includes some quiet country lanes and decent A-roads. You can really throw this bike around. The handling is very precise and the 5-speed gearbox is very smooth and positive. Although it has some off-road looks, it really is a road machine. Having said that, it's not opposed to the odd rough track or deep pothole, the kind of surface which would see your R1 or Fireblade pitching you straight off into the nearest ditch. The riding position puts you totally in command, and the small headlight fairing does a surprisingly efficient job of throwing most of the wind blast over the top of your helmet. You know, I've been amazed at just how fast I've been riding this. I honestly thought that the speedo must be wrong because it's been saying 60, 70, dare I say 80 and a bit miles an hour, and I thought I can't be going that fast because it doesn't feel that fast. And really it is all down to this little headlamp fairing with a little lip on the top. Very, very efficient, just throws all of the wind up over your helmet. You still get it on your arms and your elbows, but as far as your face and your neck goes, it's not a problem. You could sit on this bike for a long, long time. So let's talk money. Now, there's a few variations on this theme, and this is the most expensive, this 640 RS. You can have it like this in black, or red, or silver, and it'll cost you just over £6,500. Slightly cheaper than that is the 604 RS. Same bike basically, but it's got a smaller engine. It's got a 600cc motor instead of the 640 which this has, and that is about £500 cheaper than this. Cheaper than that again is the 604R without the S. Gets complicated, doesn't it? Quite simple really. That again has got a 600cc motor, but it's cheaper because it's unpainted. You don't have this nice painted finish to the tank and bodywork. That might sound horrible, but it actually looks quite good. It's a kind of hard plastic, almost matte finish, sort of off-roady type looks, type thing you get on an off-road bike. So if you don't like cleaning and polishing, then maybe that's one for you. That's £800 less than this at £5,795. Oh, and that doesn't have a bash plate either, doesn't have a sump guard. But the 604R, the cheaper one, is in the showrooms now. This one won't be there until about 5 weeks from now. So if you like this style of bike, then it's definitely worth a look. For me, the best thing I can say about the 640 RS is that it made me want to ride the way I did 20 years ago. It reminded me of all the reasons I got into biking in the first place. Remember the days you felt invincible, and the emphasis was on fun.